is another episode of the Go Blue with Stu podcast. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button on Spotify, go follow on YouTube, Field to 68. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support lately. We're going to get some good guests in here for March. It'll be a lot of fun. Michigan basketball, postseason's ramping up. Michigan basketball has been up and down. Today I got some great guests. Wright, you guys know him on Michigan Twitter. You should know him. If you don't, go follow him. All the breakdowns. And we got Brendan Quinn from The Athletic. Really great discussion. Love those guys. You could talk for hours. I had to cut them off. And it was really good. So we'll talk Michigan basketball, random stuff in the Big Ten, and even more random stuff beyond that. So I think you guys will enjoy it. Before we get to that, here is a quick word from our sponsors.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time. BetRivers Sportsbook is offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. When you win at BetRivers Sportsbook, they pay fast. And now it's even faster with Rush Pay instant approval for withdrawals. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. I know because I've used it. With March Madness right around the corner, there's never been a better time to get BetRivers Sportsbook a try. Go to betrivers.com today or download the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We got Brendan Quinn from The Athletic and my former teammate and locker buddy, actually, Wright, infamous Michigan Twitter troll. I'll call him that.
Infamous.
Yeah, you are the biggest Michigan troll I think I know in the whole Twitter.
No, not even close.
And I was on an Illinois podcast today, and they asked me about you.
What'd they ask?
They were like, what is the deal with these Michigan fans? What is this Ant Wright out there? I'm like, I'm not speaking for Ant.
Everyone hates Michigan fans now because of this team's success.
Well, it's also like the way that people have reacted. It's the way people have reacted to everything going on this week and the whole Michigan-Illinois thing. And can I ask you, I don't want to steal your hosting duties,
Go for it.
But can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
How do you think Michigan would handle roles being reversed?
Well, you see football Twitter. You see Michigan football Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it when Michigan State was beating them, when they were good a couple of years ago. And it was, just the most inane conversations. Not even conversations, just like banners. And then one side's banners, one side's, scoreboard this year. And then they're like, well, whatever about scoreboard, here's banners. And then they come back with scoreboard and it just never stops. They're just like throwing rocks at each other.
Yeah, pretty much. If roles were reversed, I would have fun with it, but I would also let people know, hey, they voted on this. This is how it goes. It is what it is. It sucks, but that's how it goes this year.
Yeah, I guess.
But I definitely have fun with it.
No, your fun never stops. I stay out of it. I don't know. And Brendan, I don't know how you stay out of it. You get a lot of flack.
No, he got in there yesterday, I retweeted the hell out of that
last night. I got hammered last night. While Gonzaga was losing, I tweeted, Gonzaga better be careful or Illinois is going to claim the WCC championship too.
I retweeted that so fast, dude.
Man, it got really bad. It was one of those, you just do it and you just don't even think twice. And I was eating dinner here where I'm in Jacksonville for work. And I just put my phone down, and I have all my notifications turned off on Twitter for mental health purposes,
Smart.
So I just put my phone down. And I'm reading a book, eating. I check my phone 10 minutes later. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a thing. It was already just wildfire, and it went downhill from there. So
that was hilarious. That was so funny. I'm like, I'm about to spread this to the masses and see what happens.
I didn't even realize Gonzaga Twitter had it like that.
No, it was Illinois Twitter. Gonzaga doesn't care.
Oh.
Gonzaga fans are wild too. I'm telling you.
It's all inferior. It's all just layers of inferiority complex.
That's all it is.
Michigan has an inferiority complex to Ohio State in terms of football, right? Michigan State has inferiority complex. this school has an inferiority complex. I went to little ass St. Joe's in Philly, right? Inferiority complex to Villanova. LaSalle has an inferiority complex to LaSalle, and it just makes everyone crazy people.
And if you're on top, you have an inferiority complex to losing. And that drives them insane.
Anyone even questioning your superiority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I don't know what IU basketball is because they have a inferiority complex, and
I know that you guys have a lot of fans out there. Y'all got a lot of fans, but I haven't heard from them in a long, long time.
They stay pretty quiet. It's a lot of, they pack that house with a lot of old people from Bloomington who don't even Twitter.
Stand up, old people. Yeah. That's the greatest chant when playing.
I mean, hey, we played there during winter break, and that place was still about half full, even when they sucked.
Yeah.
It was just all townies, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, I want to get into some Michigan basketball. Obviously, we got Juwan Howard, Coach of the Year, Big Ten champs, blah blah blah. Lost to Michigan State. I mean, we can kind of dissect some of that stuff. The one thing I want to get into, and Brendan, you tweeted about it today, is Eli Brooks's injury. And if you know anything inside with that, you said he was still in a boot, and maybe what their plans are. If you've heard anything.
I mean, in terms of news, I'm on the same island as everyone else. I mean, I've reached out to, family and stuff like that, and they've all been, this is a Michigan thing. Whatever they want to put out, they can put out. So, I know I think there's been stuff on message boards or whatever, but as far as I know, it's in a boot, and I'd be highly surprised if he plays this week. I don't see any reason to do that at all. If I'm Michigan, my big hope is second weekend of the NCAA tournament, he can be on the court. Doesn't need to be 100%, right? But as long as he can just move the ball and play defense, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
And are you going to be surprised if second weekend though? I'm a little shocked by that.
I mean,
is that what we're looking at with the severity?
If it's a low sprain, then I think it depends on how severe it is. Because I've come back off of after 2 days.
Yeah.
But then other times it's taken me 4 or 5 weeks. So if it's a high sprain, it may take a little bit longer. If it's a lower sprain, then you're not going to take that much time off. So it all depends on the severity, where the actual sprain is, and where did he get hurt at.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If it's bad, your hope is that you can just at least have him on the court for the second. If it's not that bad, of course, it'd be great if he can play this week, whatever.
Right.
But if it's a high ankle, if it's a worst case scenario thing, I'm just thinking you're just holding your breath, hoping that he can at least be out there for the second weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get into some more of that, I just remember one of my favorite Beeline stories is it's like the NCAA tournament. And when Michigan State with Magic Johnson, they won the championship. And Beeline loves telling the story about rehabbing and guys, when you get hurt, you got to rehab hard and commit to it like a basketball practice, like anything else. And he tells a story of Magic Johnson sprained his ankle and he was in treatment for 24 hours for the next game. And he was in the boot for 24 hours. And that's why he got better. He was supposed to be up from, I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. Time, either he was just not that hurt or he's just he took some magic potion. But I was like, yeah, coaches and injuries is always a funny thing.
I will say this though, one of my first Beeline coach that I remember is we were in the third day of practice ever with him. I don't think you were there yet, Stu.
No.
And he goes, "You don't get injured." Literally, just goes, "You don't get injured." Don't get injured. And it made sense because there were guys fighting for a rotation spot.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, he didn't know who was what. And, he was still going through things. And he's like, look, if you get injured, I'm just going to go to the next guy and I may forget about you. So his whole thing was don't get injured.
Every year it was a, explanation of what being hurt is versus what being injured is. Because he's like, I don't want any soft asses on my team. If you're hurt, whatever. If you're injured, it's different. I'm like, I can understand that.
At this point, everybody's hurt to some degree, whether you have a hip pointer or your IT is messed up. It's something.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys this as someone who has personally gone back and looked into what John was like as a high school player and as a division, whatever it was, two or three college basketball player. When he would say things to you, were you at any point were you guys like, hey man, what kind of player were you? Did you play injured or hurt, or what was your deal while you were down there at Wheeling?
Every single time he opened his mouth, like something small. So like I was always between like 225 and 240. Stu was always 180, and he did not understand that him and I can eat and drink the same thing, but I would gain 10 times more than he would. You know what I mean?
Or that ant can run a mile in 5:30 or something like.
Yeah, so like it's unreal. It's unreal. He thinks it's like all the same. He was like, it's easy to do this or do that. I'm like, no, man, you don't understand science, my guy. No disrespect. Like, dude is smart as a whip. Dude is smart as hell. Probably one of the smartest people I've ever known. But like, man, he has some interesting takes. He would get, if he tweeted half the things that he said, his whole Twitter would be ratioed.
I keep saying that he gets on air, he's calling these games, and if like he was half as funny as he is in real life, I mean, he would be one of the best color guys in all of college basketball.
I totally agree. He needs to break out of what he thinks the television guy should sound like mode and just be himself.
He'll kill it.
I think he'll. I mean, if he keeps doing it, I think he'll get there.
Yeah,
he doesn't curse. He doesn't cuss.
Playing to come back.
Always chill.
I think he'll coach, but yeah, right.
Seems like.
But
IU would be hilarious.
Oh my God!
I would love that.
I don't think I see that one, but
I don't either.
I keep trying to talk it into existence. I would love that.
That would be great.
Him in the league.
I could see a different school in the state of Indiana, though.
Yeah. That's the one that I keep hearing.
If that opens up,
Notre Dame.
Yes.
I can't.
You see him in the ACC?
Why not?
Yeah.
Would he go in ACC? All the crap with the recruiting and stuff, and you want to deal with.
He's at Notre Dame.
All the
not like he'd be
guys.
at like UNC.
Yeah, you can make that a Chicago school.
Yeah, I mean it's the most obvious fit in the world.
Oh man.
No.
Andy's Catholic though. That goes with it.
Yeah, he'd be like.
It fits on a number of levels. Yeah.
It's too perfect.
And it's like not even like a big school. Like it's big, like athletically,
weirdest
but
place on earth.
There's like 5,000 kids who go there.
And it's
it's like two high schools.
You get pay at a certain level and it's not Indiana in terms of like you need to go the Elite Eight in 2 years. Go win and you're good. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Go 500 and every now and then crack that tourney and then just chilling.
Just saying.
It's a football school for real. Like a football school.
What was the point of this podcast? What are we talking about?
Well,
I don't know, but we're just shooting the breeze. I love shooting the breeze.
And then periodically we'll talk some
hours.
Okay, but let's say Eli's out. Eli's going to be out. Are we're going to talk. I want to ask you guys some of the concerns and what we've seen from Michigan the past few games, but are they going to care? Like, is this going to be an issue if Michigan State gets back and beats Maryland? Is Michigan State even going to beat Maryland? It seems like a game that this team would just drop right away, like after all this hype. Can they get past Purdue or Ohio State in the next game? It's looking like it's set up for Michigan to just lose and not really care.
I'll say this in terms of the matchup that comes from it. If you go back to that Michigan State Maryland game was awful. And it was really hard to decipher in real time. Was it just a really bad matchup for Michigan State? Because, you guys know how Maryland plays, right? It's a bunch of like 6'6", 6'7" right. Dudes, right? They play 5 out. It's just a bunch of like small forwards, for lack of a better term.
Literally, yeah.
And it like Michigan State couldn't do anything on either side. They were also gassed at that time. They were like 4 games in 8 days, whatever, whereas Maryland had a week off. So was that as bad of a matchup in terms of something that can be replicable, or was it just the circumstances that I don't know? I'd be inclined to say it's a bad matchup for Michigan State, though. So, like, if I were setting the line on this game, I'd say, like, Maryland -3.
I think Maryland's
I like
-2 right
Maryland.
now.
Okay, there you go. Like, I think I like Maryland in this game. At the same time, Maryland lost to freaking Northwestern and Penn State out the door.
Yeah. Well,
So-
Penn State is like they're weird, man.
All right, well, forget
So weird.
Penn State. They lost to
Yeah.
Northwestern on the way out.
Yeah, true, true. But like Michigan State also spotted Maryland 11-0 coming out.
True.
And they pretty much played them even from that point on.
Yeah. Oh.
And they actually brought the game down like 5 or 6, and then Maryland made a big play. So it's going to be interesting to see the start coming out.
Seems like Michigan State's a team that'll just do that once a game, and maybe they just started that game out with it. Like they'll just drop 10 in a row, like just give up, spot their team 10 in a row, like whenever. I don't know what it is. They'll just run some bullshit on offense and try and go one-on-one, and then it's like, oh, there's 5 missed threes in a row.
Yeah. They couldn't get within like 20 feet for like the first 3 minutes of the game. And you saw like contested off of no rhythm threes from like 30 feet. It was just really, really bad. But then they adjusted, they calmed down. It was at Maryland, and that was, like Quinn said, like, you know, that was their fourth game in like a week. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put too much in that game. But I am gonna look at the matchups. I honestly don't think the matchups are as bad as it seems, because Dante Scott on the inside is like 6'7", is like a diet version of Deshaun Sims, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's no disrespect to him, but no, he's a diet version of him. So
He's only a sophomore.
So like once you get past Dante Scott, like who are you gonna put in? The dude, the transfer from I think Alabama, or Chol Marial, who didn't even get in that last game. So I think Michigan State will be prepared, because Maryland was prepared, because Michigan State just came off of 2.5 games of showing that four small lineup, right? Because half of Indiana game, when they were losing, everyone thought that was it, that was over. Then they beat Illinois and Ohio State back to back. Then Maryland has now got that on tape, so they were prepared for it, and they had a few days to prepare as well. I think they had like 6 days to really prepare for that lineup, and they probably watched the games together, and so like they knew all the tendencies of that lineup as well, and that's probably a big reason why they jumped out to 11-0.
Looking on that same side of the bracket, I feel like Purdue and Ohio State are set up to just take that side, one or the other. Whoever wins that game, beat Michigan or whoever in that spot, go to the championship. I don't know if they got a chance, because it looks like Illinois is going to kind of just go through, and they want to look like they maintain their momentum and get that number 1 seed. But I don't know. Purdue's looking pretty good. They seem very equal to me.
They have beaten Ohio State twice already. And you know the whole rule, like it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Right. No, it isn't.
Yeah. But like I see it as like, if you beat a team twice, that just means that you know their weaknesses and all that stuff. And that team has to try something totally different. And if it works, it works. It doesn't, you lose again. So
Speaking of playing a team 3 times, is it me, or is it like oddly underwhelming the potential of a third Michigan State game?
I was annoyed
like
when I saw it on the bracket.
Right?
Like, what the
There's just
hell?
like no juice. There's no like.
it was weird this year, man.
Yeah,
weird.
right.
And I think it's because all this Illinois energy kind of like
It's too much.
dampen things. I'm
done.
I'm serious. Illinois, this whole thing has just dampened. Literally, Michigan and Michigan State have been like boxing with these dudes on the same side for like the last 3-4 weeks. And yes, it's a rivalry. You hate to lose, but that extra juice that comes with that game, I just didn't feel it. I just didn't
Been
feel it.
lacking. I don't know if it's the fans. I don't know if it's the fact that like no one's saying anything on either side, but like it just seems so like dormant.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just like,
I remember
whatever.
playing, like Ohio State my freshman year specifically, and like people are trying to explain to you the rivalry with Ohio State and Michigan State, and I'm like, they kicked our ass. Like, what are you talking about? There's nothing. This isn't exciting. Like, you guys just are sad. You have your inferiority complex you're dealing with. This is not. There's no juice here for any side, for the players at least. That's it kind of seems like that.
Even the Ohio State game with Michigan had more
juice.
Yeah.
had more
juice.
heat than
Yeah.
the last two Michigan State games. And maybe it's because Michigan State was perceived to be so far down, right? And
that is honestly
it wasn't kind of at the level.
The teams haven't been able to talk junk this year, like
Yeah.
at any point really.
Yeah.
There was some towards the beginning of the year when Michigan State was a top 5 team, and then there was some back and forth because people thought Michigan was underrated, not being higher in the rankings and all that stuff. Then there was the Oakland game that people had to troll about, so we had to fight back about that. So I just think the back and forth banter really kind of got killed off there in like January or so. And then the Illinois stuff came out, and then we had that back and forth banter, but it wasn't with each other. It was with the whole two fan base who
Mhm.
just came out of nowhere. Calling Maddie Sissoko a thug, and then you had big. It wasn't like these little trolls with like 10 followers, but it's like these accounts who have some type of influence over their community. And I found that part the most odd. I'm like, okay, bro, you have 11, 12, you got 3 or 4K. Like, what are you doing? And like, you're saying these things. And so people are like, yeah, you're right. He's a thug. F that guy. Suspend him and all that stuff, man. So it got ugly, and it got ugly really, really quick.
That dude, the dude who made that thug comment, who has like that very generic, like, I like write for, like, I've done TV work or like write for a newspaper picture, that guy who said the thug thing, he like jumped in it last night on that the tweet that I made, and I wrote and deleted like 7 responses. And didn't do it. And just back, like, it was like I put the phone down and like I put both my hands on my lap and just took a breath and didn't go there. But on the Michigan State thing, so I was sitting like baseline at Chrysler for the second game, right? So game ends, confetti comes down, Michigan's running all over the court, right? Like Livers is like waving at the players, but like in a nice way, it's not like
F you.
It's not like the bye-bye wave or anything as they walked off. And I'm sitting there, and you guys know how the tunnel is, right? So like I can see straight across the court into the tunnel that goes out right by the visitors' locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Michigan State players are coming out, and it's still while like the Michigan players are going through their Big Ten party and starting senior day stuff. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this will be great. I'm gonna see something. Somebody's gonna come out and look and get pissed off or something like that, and it'll be a great, scene for a story for the next game. And I'm looking, and everyone's just out there like getting sandwiches, getting ready to like walk out the tunnel to get on the bus to go back to Lansing. Like it just didn't seem like they weren't like out there like kicking over water coolers and shit and like getting all pissed off that this party was happening 10 feet away. Where it's like, a couple of years ago, I feel like it would have been that way. Certainly back when I just got here, like the Stauskas year, when everything was just, everyone hated everyone. It was awesome. It was the way, certainly what you want to be writing about from my perspective.
True. I think it's,
what? Go ahead.
I mean, I think it's also, something that like we kind of forget is that I think these kids or some of these guys have got to be mentally burned out.
Good point.
Like there is, it's just basketball. You don't get to mingle with, like one of the coolest things was chilling with people who weren't in sports. Like I thought that was one of the cooler things. Or after a game, I go to B-dubs and like chill with fans or something. I thought that was awesome. And they don't have they don't have an outlet right
Mhm.
now. They're like, I'm not gonna say they're in jail because no, but they are in a box right now. And this is this is a very fragile time because if you do get COVID, like you risk your whole team not going to the NCAA tournament. So I think a lot of these guys are a little bit burnt out and not over it. I'm not gonna say that they're overplaying, but I think that they've been doing the same exact thing for months and months and months, and I think they're just ready to just have a woosaw and in some type of other way to spend their energy. You know what I
And
mean?
with zero outlet, like there's no place to go. Like can't even really go see family.
You can't go to the club. You can't really invite that many people over.
No.
Like, if you have a girl, you better hope that she's another athlete because you know she's getting tested. You know what I mean? So, those are the important things.
This
And
reminds me of Ant's senior year when Evan Turner hit the shot over my outstretched pale arms, and people, like they like felt so much pain from him hitting the shot because we were gonna beat them, obviously, and like got so close, and we had to like win the Big Ten tournament, I think, to even get to the tournament that year because we were so bad. But people are like, man, that must have been so painful, and like you guys are so close. I'm like, not really. Like I was so ready for it to be done. Like he put us out of our misery. Like there's no way we were gonna win the Big Ten tournament. Like just end us while we're on the ground. Like just like you guys don't even understand. Like there's no perspective. It's hard to get into the mind of the player, and like especially every team is different. But like I feel like Michigan State's side, where they're just walking off getting sandwiches after the Michigan loss. It's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get through this year, and that's about it.
That's what stunned me about what Michigan State's done. I mean, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were just dead in the water. There was no chance.
There's still some pride, like.
Yeah, but like to go 5-2 on the way out, 3 top 5 or top 10 wins, whatever. It's just
flip the psychology, right? It's like, well, we gave up. Who cares? Now we're going to play a little more free. And you got, Rocket Watts' last game's going off, and he hasn't done that in a while. And does he actually care? Like he knows that game means nothing if he puts up however many shots he did. So like then you just free yourself up mentally.
Well, I mean, halfway through Indiana, Tom Izzo is like, oh crap, now I have to play my best players.
Yeah.
Oh God, now I'm gonna have to shorten my rotation. I guess. Oh look, good things happen. Oh,
good things happen. Good things happen
shit,
you play Xavier Tillman more. Good things happen when you play Cassius over Tum Tum. There's just weird things that happen when you play better players.
Yeah,
weird things.
Weird things, man. Weird things. I can't believe they didn't win the Natty in 2019, man. I can't believe it. I still
they lost to Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Yeah, because I thought that they were better than them, and I thought that they were better than UVA. I thought they had more answers than all those teams.
I don't know who the hell on that team would have guarded DeAndre Hunter.
True.
Yeesh.
True. I mean, like, you gotta think like McQuaid at least contains just a little bit. Or Goins just a little bit.
For listeners, Brendan gave the most bitter beer face you've ever seen.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, I don't think like Cassius would have given K.A. Clark the blues, in my opinion. And they didn't have anybody for Tillman, I don't think.
Yeah, they just put the Texas Tech team, just locked them in a closet. McQuaid got in foul, if I remember right, McQuaid got in foul trouble in the first half.
No.
All got out of whack. It was an ugly basketball game.
Yeah,
it was ugly semifinals all the way around.
It was a rock fight. I mean, even the Sweet 16, like, I mean, what Texas Tech did to Michigan, like, it was like the same exact thing. They put him in a box and threw.
And that Michigan team was. It felt like it was like seams pulled way too far.
Yeah.
They were just kind of strained. Beeline was strained. Players on the team were strained. Iggy was strained. JP was strained. It was just like they just kind of lost a little something down the stretch there, and then ran into
They
Texas
didn't have
Tech,
that
and they just
guy.
punched them right in the face.
Yeah, it was a wrap. And they didn't have that guy to just give the ball to. You know, they didn't have that guy to just say, "Hey, go get me points." But
No,
that's how
not
it
quite.
goes.
Iggy thought it was that.
Needed some Stu Douglas.
Yeah, exactly.
Stu, shoot it. Stu,
If
here
you're
you go,
gonna
shoot
pass to me in the corner, it's not coming out. I'll let you know that.
it.
Don't know when you're gonna see it again.
Like Kofi Coburn in the corner. No assists. You can give the ball. That ball is going up. You better rebound. Every time Stu shoots it, like, oh shit. Every time he catches it, oh god.
Crash the boards. That's it.
Crash the
You got.
boards. Who's getting back for Stu? Because Stu's not getting back.
No, you know damn well because you were in that corner with me. It was they have some shooters, no help. Weak side, strong side, didn't matter. We're not helping off.
Nope.
I remember playing Ohio State, and me and John Diebler literally was just running up the court. Probably we could have just held hands
Holding hands the
the
whole
entire game. We didn't touch the ball, basically. I mean, he could come off screens because they knew what they were doing. But it was like we could have just run barely up and down the court, holding hands, maybe even interlocked arms. I don't know.
Had a deal like, hey, look, if neither of us crash, all of our energy is going to be good to go for the rest of this ball game.
We'll have our legs for the end.
Oh man, John Diebler. John Diebler. There is a tape somewhere on ESPN where he knocked me down and he offered to help me up, and I said "F you," and I just turned my back and got up myself.
You're such a nice guy. Why would you do that?
Man, I know. I'm like the nicest guy out there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, we got a few more minutes. We're gonna get out of here, but
we didn't cover much. We were just chilling.
Well, we'll cover a little bit. I think this is more fun than anything else. I think people enjoy it. But we'll cover your basic, generic, podcast questions about basketball, and that would be, are we worried about Michigan? Are we worried without Eli? Are you worried with Eli? Like, what are we seeing going into the postseason with guys with this, basically with this offense, and not really having somebody that will step up, cough. I want to see Franz drive the ball 20 times, cough. You know what I'm saying? So what are you guys seeing with that?
You start off, Ant.
All right. So like from the kind of beginning of the year, I was saying, people would ask me like, hey, we're so good. Does this team have any weaknesses? Someone's like, yeah, we got weaknesses. Like, look, our backcourt right now is very, very solid, but they are not the backcourt that is going to lead you to a Final Four. And that is no disrespect to them. They do all the right things. Eli is a really good defender. I think Mike Smith does a good job in, picking his spots, but neither one of them are very explosive with the ball. Then you have Hunter Dickinson, who has been pretty good, but I think his name is like Zach Schneider put out a really, really cool stat the other day. He said the first time that Hunter Dickinson faces a team, he averages 20. The second time he faces that same team, he averages about 8. So I'm like, okay, if the guards can't do much, then Hunter Dickinson can't do much. You expect your 2 NBA prospects to step up. The issue is the NBA prospects are pretty limited, and that's no disrespect to them, but they feed off of others' creativity. They're not the ones creating themselves. Franz is really good driving, but he only goes to his right. Franz is a good shooter, though, but that in-between game just isn't there. Livers is very similar. Like, how many times a game do you really see him driving the ball with purpose? And it's like a spot up 3, or he goes mid-post and he posts up and he's probably going to fade back over his left shoulder. They're very easy to scout right now. And that, I think, is the biggest issue, especially going into an NCAA tournament. And then it's going to be an issue going into the Sweet 16, is because these guys are going to be able to get 4 or 5 days to really scout you. And when it comes to Michigan, it's a little bit of an easier scout. And if you cut off certain things, Michigan really struggles to score the ball and get going.
I'd say there's been a certain level of maybe predictability in the offense that is leading to maybe some more stagnant stretches that we're seeing, and they need to get a little creative or reinventive or whatever word you want to use of, where Dickinson gets his touches, how he gets his touches, what direction is he going in, where is he going, and whether it's spots where he's catching and looking to score, or whether it's spots where he's looking to catch and attract the defense and then kick out and try to get defenses in rotations, whatever it may be. It does seem, I feel like anyone, like us who's been watching every single Michigan game, there's starting to be a little level of like kind of
Very vanilla
against the wall of like, you're continuing to try to do this one thing or these two things, and it's just not working, so there's a season's worth of game tape for a lot of good coaches to see. They're not going to be that surprised. And if Eli's not there, it just makes you more vulnerable because, the ball's not going to move the way that it has been able to move when they've been at their best. So, if you're going to keep running the same stuff without a guy like Eli Brooks, well, that just, I think, creates even more of a more potential for these kind of dry spells or whatever it may be. So I think at this point you'd like to see they have some time here to look at some things, try some things, and go to Indy and find out, how to put different guys in different situations and put the ball into different spots that show something different.
I think it's up to both sides too, where it's like, yo, Franz, don't be staying in the corner. Isaiah, don't be staying in the corner. Like, move. We're looking at this team with 4 out, 1 in, and there's just zero movement. There was one drive last game, or no, I guess the game at Chrysler, where Mike Smith drove to the basket, kind of got bailed out because Franz cut to the basket, got the easiest layup he had all season. It's like, where has that been? That's the
Right.
it's an easy move for you to do. You're big. You can, even if the guy was on you and bodying you, you could still finish. So it comes down to both sides where I'm saying like players need to move. Juwan gives them the freedom. Okay,
Yeah.
take advantage of it. Eli does
thing.
it. You see Eli does it. Eli wants to do more of it. He's pretty good at it. But to get the other guys to do it, it takes everybody. So I think then Juwan's going to come back like, all right, if you guys aren't going to play confidently within this freedom, within this system that gives you freedom, then I'm going to, start giving you more structure. Or I don't know, sit some guys out and like let Sean D come in and shoot more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, part of the problem I feel like is, sometimes you have players with similar tendencies.
Yeah.
Of a, Livers, Franz, Sean D, where very comfortable getting into a spot where they want to shoot, right? And stand at the 3-point line, hope the ball comes to them and be able to put up a shot. And when there's no flow to the offense and you got guys just kind of looking for spots, that's what I feel like what you're talking about. Whereas Eli, he'd at least be running off screens or, catch the ball and be willing to dribble and move and do things like
off
that.
The bounce,
anything,
off the bounce. Yeah.
anything. Right.
Exactly. And that sucked seeing him get hurt because the way that he scored against Michigan State, boom, hits a 3. Boom, he drives, he pivots in the lane. You get into a lane and pivot, that is one of the deadliest things you can do on a basketball court.
Yeah.
He had this little late season float, this little shot developing, this little quasi hook runner floater
one hand
thing. Yeah.
Guaranteed they talked to him about it. They say, hey, look, you haven't made it over top. Turn it under and make it a scoop and see if that works.
And it was. He hit that a couple times in that Michigan State game in Ann Arbor.
He hit it twice.
Yep.
Am I wrong thinking that it doesn't really matter if they're a 1 or a 2 seed?
No, it doesn't matter. I don't think.
What would be the big?
The big thing is that you don't want to run into Baylor or Gonzaga until the Final Four. If you're a 2 seed, you'd be vulnerable because that would assume then that other Big Ten teams might be the ones jumping up. So other than Alabama, really the only other potential one, you have Illinois. Like if Iowa goes and wins the Big Ten championship, Iowa could work its way up to a 1. If it's Illinois and Iowa, well, now Michigan would be looking at a 2 seed in a bracket with Baylor or Gonzaga, because they would try to break it up to not have a Big Ten. I think. I'm not sure how that really.
Yeah.
I think they're saying the top 4 seed lines can't face each other until the second weekend. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Right. And now Michigan would be likely be the highest ranked number 2 seed.
Number 2.
So
right.
they would probably be paired with the lowest 1
Illinois
seed.
or Iowa. Yeah.
You know,
I can definitely see that.
That's probably the case. But even still, I mean, I do think there is some benefit to being a 1. That said, short of Iowa winning the Big Ten and Michigan losing in its first game, I don't know if there's that many scenarios that knock Michigan off the 1 line.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, guys, that's about all I got. You got any other?
I want more thoughts from Ant on Illinois. Personally,
I like their team. Like Ayo Dosunmu, I love him. Kofi Coburn, dude is like Shaq in the Big Ten. Curbelo, what a freshman coming off the bench. I call him
all kinds of sauce. So much sauce.
Mini Lonzo Ball right there. Mini Lonzo. So in like Trent
Frazier's a dog.
Two-way player. Man, and they have so many good glue guys like DeMonte Williams and Grandison and the light-skinned freshman dude. I don't even know his name, but he's number 33. He brings energy. Well, I can say that.
Yeah, you can. Yep.
Bashanis Billy. I'm like a big Bashanis Billy fan. I love his game a lot. But man, that's all I'll say. Man, it sucks because you want a team like that to do well because they deserve to do well. But I don't need people talking shit to me who are just terrible people. Like, you shouldn't be able to call someone a thug and then celebrate a banner.
Not wrong.
That's just weird to me.
You're not wrong. I agree with you.
The Celtics have been doing it for years, so
this Illinois team is tremendous.
Yeah, he just trashed the whole city of Boston in just one sentence, really just offhand. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
I couldn't help it, man.
Succinct and way out of place. Well, never really out of place.
Oh man, I like Illinois though. I really like that team. But my closing statement is going to be Franz Wagner not being all Big Ten is the biggest travesty I have seen in sports, period.
Defensive.
All defensive Big Ten.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's that I learned that award, that team is a joke because the video guys write that down. They write down their, the people they want, they think they're going to get it. And then they go to the coach and they go, does this look good? And they're like, yeah, I don't give a shit about the all defensive team. And then boom, check mark, send it off. That's it.
Jesus
For a lot of them. I mean, it obviously varies by school and coach, but it is, nobody really cares.
See, the video guys are the ones who are on Twitter arguing with me. So I'm sorry. Sorry, Franz, for losing the all Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year award. I apologize. You are the, in my opinion, the best defender in the country. And that's no bias. Him and Jared Butler for Baylor, I would say, are top 2.
I just don't see how did they finish with the number 1 defensive efficiency rating in
number 1? Yep. Number 4 in the country, I believe.
So how your best defender, you can make a case to have 2 guys on it. You can make a case to have Eli on it too.
Best defensive box plus minus since 2009 was Franz.
That's wild.
Like historical.
So the media, we don't even vote on a defensive team because they don't trust the media to understand defense. Which
they would have looked at it way more.
people would have looked at it more, but I don't blame them. But
It's a damn shame is what that is.
You know what? The funny
It's
part
odd.
about that is like, yes, media guys in particular, what I think about is baseball voting for the Hall of Fame, which is just a joke. Those media members, like sometimes those can just be an absolute joke. But do you really think that the coaches are like evaluating Franz and his other defensive games? Like they're not evaluating all that stuff. And
They're scheming away from him in every preparation.
yeah, exactly. He doesn't play defense at all. Well, why do you think? Because they don't want to go at him. And then the other thing is that it's such a position to get, like, develop an easy bias, such a position to develop bias easily, because I don't know, a couple of good games against, one team, and it's like, well, this guy's stuck in your mind. And it's like, why are we asking coaches to evaluate players all the time when they can't even evaluate their own team all the time?
Jesus Christ. Aaron Donald had no sacks. Oh, yeah, because they ran the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw I was just as kind of confused by he was third team all league on one of the, I don't know if it was coaches or media. He was third team all league. I'm like, I don't see how that's possible.
Franz?
Yeah. I mean, that's insane to me. I mean, so my first team was Io, Kofi, Luca, Franz, Travion. And my last spot went to Travion. I picked him over EJ Liddell. And it was based on, like, if I look at Purdue's roster and I take out Travion, I'm like, I don't know. Is that even a top half
Yeah.
of the conference team? There's no chance, right?
No.
You take EJ off Ohio State, maybe they still find a way. Maybe. I don't know. But I think for those two, I thought it was like a coin flip, really. And I just picked EJ because they won an extra game in the league. And I just think that he gets so much attention defensively from opponents that I just have all the respect in the world for him. But, like, I see Trace Jackson Davis there. I'm like, there's no way. I mean,
Right.
skill-wise, talent-wise, top 5, sure, maybe, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But Indiana sucked. And she still hasn't made a shot outside of 10 feet.
Yeah.
And,
Which is wild to me.
Yeah.
Wild.
He was in the Indy Pro-Am. I watched him, and it was like, oh, this kid is going to be a pro. One and done. Like, he can develop the jump shot, and then just nothing. I mean, he's skilled, obviously, and can score, like I thought, but just never hit the next level. I don't understand.
He's averaging like over 19 as a stretch 5, but doesn't shoot the ball. I don't think he has any 3-point attempts this year. He may have like 2 or 3 tops.
Haven't looked.
But that dude averaging 19 and a half, as versatile as he is as a player, like, he could get buckets from the elbow, from the short corner, from the block. He could drive from, like, top of the key. For him to not have a jump shot is weird. Very weird.
But, like, for someone on a losing team to be first team all Big Ten, like, you better be
scoring 28.
Such a shit kicker, just like a dominant player. I mean, the league is so good, so good. If you're on a losing team, like, what? How is he first team? I don't see it.
In a league, the bigs are really good.
Really good
in the league this year. When you're saying that, like, Nate Reavers and Micah Potter might be top 8, 9, the league is really freaking good.
Right.
Miles Johnson from Rutgers, that dude is a mother effer. And nobody.
How would you? Oh yeah, he's a beast. How would you boys have held up in the Big Ten this year?
I would have had a lot of fun. Just give me a dude who lets me shoot it and drive the ball and not stand in the corner.
Yeah, that system would have been fun as hell. All sorts of freedom.
Have Ron Harper Jr. guard me. I'm going at his head.
Or the dude from Nebraska.
Dude from Nebraska. Delano Banton? No, thank you. That dude.
Oh, you meant Teddy Buckets.
Oh,
I meant Buckets. I thought that was a given. Yeah, I thought we did.
Oh, man. That dude, Delano Banton, I think he's going to find his way on an NBA roster at some point. Delano Banton. Cool. That dude, he's like 6'9". He's like Franz Light. He's Franz Light. I think he can find his way. He's like 6'9", handles the ball like a point guard. He's got potential.
Produces
Pretty good.
pretty well, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he had a triple double against someone early on though.
I think so.
He fills it up.
Let's just see if he plays more than 1 year in Nebraska, and maybe they'll get it going over there. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean,
How over
should
under?
transfer.
How many players on this year's team are on next year's team at Nebraska?
ooh.
I'm going to put the number at 4.5.
Oh my god.
Over under.
I thought you were going to say 5. I thought you were going to say 5. I'm gonna say over, and I think it's because Bryce McGowan's is a 5-star, and he's gonna come in with his brother Trey, and I think there's gonna be a couple people there who are gonna believe in that system. They just had a transfer in from I think the SEC somewhere who just got eligible like several games ago.
I didn't know you were going to be bringing Nebraska facts over here. Jesus Christ.
Dude,
I'm not prepared. This is cut out.
I watch basketball way too much, dude. So
Yeah.
like whenever I see someone who I don't know, I instantly like go like FBI. Who is this? Why is he here? What is
Public records. Let's pull these up.
Yeah, exactly. Like what is his story?
I'm going to get you some FOIA forms. You can start
Yeah.
doing some journalism out here, Ant.
Seriously.
I think they'll be okay next year. I'm not sure about NCAA or NIT, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay next year. And I got it over 4.5. Over
Okay.
4.5.
Still.
I'd say over because that seems ridiculous, but I mean, I guess at this point you can't really
Because he replaced everyone this year, right? I think this is like a whole new team.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's a whole new team this year.
Yeah. Or he's a wild guy.
They've got a few pieces. They need a big man still, because the dude who came in from the SEC, he's only like 6'6", 6'7". Like they need like a legit big. I think if they get a legit big, they'll be all right.
All right. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is turned into a Nebraska breakdown. I got to end this real quick. I am not having this. I'm not putting this on my recording.
I told you, man. I can talk basketball for hours, bro.
No.
Dude's just been sitting here shaking his head for
I'm just like,
Ant broke down Nebraska ball,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
well, guys, we got any closing? Shut up, Ant. We got any closing? Quick, if you got a sentence, you want to say a sentence?
A sentence.
I just love the state of Illinois and all
Yeah,
the
there we go.
people.
Champaign, what a beautiful city.
Such great people. Such great people. Who wouldn't want to go to Champaign, Illinois?
Worst arena.
There's just so
Okay.
much there.
We're gonna end it with worst arena, and we're gonna cop out
Is
there.
there any building
Worst-
over 2 floors in Champaign?
Worst,
All right, this is gonna be brutal.
wait, worst arena in the league? That's what you're asking?
Yeah.
Illinois.
Wait, this is the non-Bryce Jordan conversation, right? I mean, you have to take Penn State out of this conversation.
Well, they have one of the nicer. They just don't.
That's the
fill it.
problem is they have one of the nicer ones.
No, it's not
like-
nice.
Yes,
it
it
was
is.
built 30
They
years
host
ago.
music events.
As a,
I've been in parks that host music events, man.
Brendan,
I mean,
they
it's
have
not
one of
that
the
big
better
of a
venues.
measure.
Well, yeah,
they're one of the better venues. They just never ever pack it.
It's
That's the
big and obnoxious
It's
and
big,
ridiculous.
gaudy.
Ohio State sucks too
I
because it's an
don't mind Ohio
NBA. It's
State.
an
Like
NBA. Right?
Penn State playing at Bryce Jordan would be like me writing for the Atlantic instead of the Athletic. Like it's too big, too big, too impressive. Doesn't make any sense.
No one's going.
Oh my gosh.
You sell yourself
Oh.
short.
But okay, so Northwestern's. I
Have you
heard
seen
it's
the
pretty
renovation?
Nice now.
It's
I heard
nice
pretty
now.
nice now.
It's
I
actually like
heard it's
perfect
nice.
for them now.
It was charming because it sucked so bad, and then every time we played, Michigan fans were, there was more Michigan fans than Northwestern fans.
You guys never saw this because you were on the court instead of up in the press seating, but in the previous version, they had like the accountant lights, like the green lights, like desk lights
Oh, I love
at
that.
at the media seats because there were no lights in that section of the stadium.
Oh
Like
my
you're like a
God.
You
skinny
sat there with
cookie
desk
during
lights.
the.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing.
There are Indiana and Kentucky high school gyms that are better than that thing.
Well,
Well,
Mhm.
not anymore, but
I've
used to.
played in a couple. But
So my vote for worst place in the Big Ten is Ohio State, because that is not a goddamn basketball arena. It is a oversized hockey arena.
Yeah.
It's cold as shit, and it just doesn't, for a program that's really good and like deserves better.
Yep.
It just doesn't lend itself to any level of like what college basketball should be like and feel like.
Are you talking about value?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Imagine like Wisconsin's arena with Ohio State fans. It would be insane. During a
Yeah.
Michigan game, it would be insane.
The drums and pregame are awesome. The Wisconsin, I don't remember any.
Even like Breslin, put Ohio State fans at Breslin, it'd be a madhouse.
Yeah.
It's already a madhouse in my opinion.
Well, yeah, no shit.
Minnesota sucked too. I hate Minnesota.
Oh, I
I
love
hate
the
Minnesota.
barn.
I hate Minnesota. Like, why do you have to walk downstairs to get to your 8 by 12 foot locker room?
Oh, it was like, there were rats in there.
Yeah,
It was-
packed like sardines.
And Illinois and Minnesota also had dead spots. And it's like, you play in the Big Ten. Patch that up quick. It does not take much. This is a $1 billion business. Like, let's figure this out.
See, that's why I was catch and shoot. I didn't even know that. I just caught it. I shot it. You know.
No, dude, there were times like you would dribble at Illinois, and I turned it over, I think at least once, where like you dribble and you're like, the ball, you're like, where'd the ball go? Like, it didn't come back up to your hand. It just went somewhere else. You look like an idiot, and you have no one to complain to.
And coach was like, "Damn it, Stu,
Yeah.
pivot."
Was Minnesota any good when either of you played there?
I mean,
Trevor
they had-
Lockway was good.
They had Tubby.
Because like that place, when they're good for a big game, like the barn is rocking, man. Like it is like, it smells like college basketball. And I know you don't like old things like the Palestra, but
I hate old stuff.
Well,
Give
it's
me
offensive to me. But
Sparkly.
To me, the barn is just a knockoff Hinkle Fieldhouse. So I'm like, Hinkle did it first. Get the hell out of here.
well, the Palestra did it first, and then
Well, yeah, you're right. My bad. Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. We prefer Ben Franklin in
Ben
Philadelphia.
Franklin-
Thomas
yeah,
Jefferson
Ben
can
Franklin
fuck right off with the
Yeah.
state of Virginia or the Commonwealth or whatever.
My bad.
Wait, did you guys pick your worst arenas officially?
I hated Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
So they've been renovated too.
Okay, well then I'm like, I need to see
It's
that.
fairly nice.
That's good for them.
Although the official
Locker room, where's
arena
locker
account
room?
was tweeting at me last night about my tweet.
Who was?
The official arena account from Illinois.
Well, I would see the same amount of banners as I saw when I was playing it. Oh man. Oh man.
Wait, more importantly, best arena is, I'll say Assembly. What do you guys say?
I say Assembly Hall's up
Yeah, it's
there.
got
Mackey's
I like
underrated.
Purdue. I like Purdue too.
Because
man.
it's like you go in one area, you go out one area. It's a
the
bowl.
way that they like have the fans and then there's like
it's
a wall.
Students. That's what I
Then there's
love.
a wall, then they're like on top of the wall. Like, I'm like, dude, like this is super sweet. And then like now Stu, you saw Mackey before and after they flipped it, right? Did
They
you see
flip?
it then?
No.
They flipped it. Because now teams sit on the floor.
They do?
They flipped the court.
I have not watched the game. I don't know.
All right.
Oh,
all right.
I see what you're saying.
So like before we used to sit down like it
Yeah.
was Minnesota.
I
Then
hated
on the opposite side, there was like a flat floor of this
It was
black.
where the rich people, my uncle sat there.
right. Right. They flipped it. They flipped the court.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
They flipped the court. Because I didn't even realize that they also flipped Michigan. I went to a game and I'm like, hold on, the tunnel is there. Why are they sitting over here? Then I realized that like they busted out like another tunnel and they flipped Michigan too.
Oh, I am all screwed up now.
Yeah. So usually where Michigan sits when we played, we used to just get up and leave and go off to the right through
Yeah.
the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
That is no longer the case.
So now you're going left.
Now going left out I believe, but it's like, no, you're not going left because the seating is on a different side of the court.
I'm all
Like,
I'm all turning around now.
You're flipped you are diagonal of where you were.
This is an amazing conversation. Wait, back in the day, wasn't
I
the
see
seating
what
on the
you're saying.
baseline or something?
No. Back in the day, the seating, Michigan sat on the right side, right? But the tunnel was like right
you
there,
had a different tunnel.
right to our right. Yeah. So, Stu, you enjoyed the new facility, right?
My senior year, which was all, don't even get me started on it, but yeah. Beginning of my senior year, like that whole summer we were in the IM building and I almost lost my mind.
So in games now, the visiting locker room still uses the old tunnel.
Yeah.
But Michigan has their own tunnel now.
Right.
A totally new one.
Right. Yeah. We used that one, I think, my senior year. Yeah, we did. Yep.
But the court has flipped though.
I got you.
The court's flipped.
I see what you're saying. So then you go out left.
Brenda's like, what are y'all
This is amazing.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know what was worse, Nebraska.
So Brendan, all right.
Yeah.
So where the commentators were for the games, right? No, where they used to be. You know where they are, like right across from the scores table?
What? There's a fire?
No, it was an alarm for the original time of this podcast. Yes.
Original, yes. So the
Okay.
original, where
The
the
original.
original court was,
Yes.
right? Where the commentators sat at half court,
Okay.
right? To the right of them is where the Michigan bench is now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Brendan, what's your favorite color?
I just had to get you there.
What's my favorite what?
Color.
Color. Green. I'm Irish, man. Come on.
Oh. All right. I'm cutting you off, man. That is it. You're done. You'll never
Black or blue for me. Thanks for asking, Steve.
All I know is the hotel bar closes in like 15 minutes. I
gotta
gotta
grab
get back
another
downstairs
I
to
ran
get a
out
refill
10 minutes
here.
ago.
I don't
I'm
know
in
what we're
South
even
Park.
talking about here.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
either
South
bringing
Park.
this laptop with me to the hotel bar.
If Ant keeps talking.
Hey, I could talk for days.
Yeah, sorry, my buddy won't shut the hell up.
I'm ready to break down the renovations at Carver
Let's hear it.
Hawkeye next. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah, that could be fun. You know what? That place sucks. Actually, I love it. All right.
Pull
all
up
right,
in the
we're done.
bus and then walk and then go straight down. Unreal.
Shut up. All right.
Disgusting.
That's a wrestling arena, anyways.
It's
Okay.
terrible.
Guys, Brendan, Ant,
Like a
I
bowl.
appreciate you too. Shut up, Anthony. I appreciate you too. We will maybe do this again. Let's do this again in like a couple weeks. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
I got
All right.
nothing else to do.
Appreciate you guys.
Yup. See you, Stu.
Later.
Go.